Alright, so today we're going to be wrapping up a couple things on the car. So just pretty much maintenance work that I've been doing here. I actually got started on doing a lot of this stuff yesterday. Yeah, so pretty much what it's getting done on the car, we're getting new spark plugs, spark plug wires. Also ordered this valve cover gasket kit. I think it was time to get new valve cover gaskets. I'll explain that in a little bit. I've been using these NGK BR7 EF spark plugs for a while now. They're non-iridium, but really good spark plugs, especially for boosted application. And then this time we're going to be trying out these Excel spark plug wires, which are going to be replacing the MSD wires. To be honest, these MSD wires have lasted me quite a long time. I think it's almost been like 5 years, maybe even 6 years now since I've had them on the car, and they have not fallen apart, have never had issues with them. But I actually got these for free, so I'm gonna be trying these out. And then also an oil change. So the oil I always tend to use is a SuperTech. So this is the Walmart brand. A little bit cheaper than Mobil 1, but still pretty up there, I guess, regarding quality and whatnot. And then I always use a little bit of the STP oil treatment. And then for filter, I always go with the AC Delco. So I already got the valve cover gaskets done. I actually started working on the car yesterday. We swapped out the valve cover gaskets, and the main reason is because I was having a small leak that seemed like that was coming from the back of the valve cover on this side, on the passenger side. And every once in a while, typically after a wide open throttle, I would get home, and then the very next day I would see like a very small, probably like dime sized or smaller oil drop on the concrete. And then if I stuck my hand back in the very back, I was able to get some oil residue off of the valve cover or the head. So we went ahead and swapped those out, and then did this side too. Now the kit that I got also came with the, I guess, the grommets that go right here around the bolts. So that got swapped out. So that was a pretty easy swap. Here's pretty much the old gaskets, and so they got replaced with the Velcro ones. So that's the part number right there. And then those are, I guess, these grommets. These were still pretty good. I didn't see any tears on them. So, but I went ahead and just, put the new ones on. So hopefully that fixes the oil leak that I've been having. Especially, like I said, it only really happens after a wide open throttle. I guess it was a good thing too that I took off the coil packs and the bracket. That way it's just easier to change out the plugs. Yesterday I already swapped out the plugs. I got the new ones in there. The right side is easy. The left side over here, the passenger side, this is the side that really sucks. This is a little bit of a tighter space, but also have all these other hoses and whatnot running over here, so it becomes a real hassle just to change out plugs. Once I took off the coil pack and the brackets, it made it a lot easier to get my hand down there. Yeah, so like I was saying, I've never had issues with these MSD wires. They've always been good. And so we're just gonna try these out. I mean, I've seen some people on the CTSV pages run these. If I have any issues with them, then I'll just go back with MSD. But I mean, the only reason why I'm really changing out the wires is because it's been like years. So they've been on the car for a while. So, and like I said, I got these for free, so I might as well just throw on the new ones. So these are, again, the XL Extreme 900, or 9000, I mean. I think right there, 9070C. So I guess these are supposed to be really good. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish getting everything back on the car. All right, so I got the wires at least connected to the spark plug. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then come back and put the bracket back on, finish hooking these up to the packs, coil packs. All right, so these brackets right here, these I actually bought them from Glancer Performance, and the only reason why I bought these brackets was because supposedly you can't use the factory LS3 bracket. Something about the stock bracket sits the coil pack way too high, and I guess supposedly gets in the way with the LSA or something like that. So I found those on glancerperformance.com. They're not too expensive. I believe they were like under $100 or something like that. And then they just used the factory bolt holes right here and bolts, and you just screw them in. The only downside to them is that so I have no problem with the driver's side. This is always the easy side to get the spark plug and wires out, but it's always on this side. And the reason I say that too is because the bracket actually tends to push the coil packs more towards the rear, and so that makes it hard just to disconnect everything. Another thing that really helped out too was removing the cowl, and I removed the cowl and the grill up here. Another thing too was to, one, make it easier for me to change out the valve covers and, you know, get back there, but two, I also wanted to take a peek inside the supercharger. So I took off the lid, I unscrewed all the 17 bolts. I just wanted to make sure everything looked good in there, and it does. For one, just to take a look at the brick inside and make sure there's no leaks or anything like that, and also that the fins aren't falling out. Just, you know, overall inspection of the brick and the rotors too. So everything looks good. The blower's good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the brackets back on and then finish hooking everything up. You know, I think I got the SS pretty much up to where I want it now. I think at this point that's it. I don't plan on doing really any more modifications, at least to the engine. Might work on some stuff exterior wise, but when it comes to performance, I think that's it. Probably the main reason why I haven't really been posting. I think, like I said, I just got it up to where I feel like it's safe, makes good amount of power. Keep in mind, it's still a stock bottom end LS3. So right now, if I had to guess, it's probably making 750. I know I made 700 before with the old pulleys, but just recently we've done the 2.35 upper and then the 103 throttle body. So I'm pretty sure that kind of squeezed a little bit more out. So I have a feeling it's probably making around 750. So yeah, but besides that, I mean, the car's been doing pretty good. I did run into a little issue not that long ago. I believe I was having belt squeak. So after I did the 235 and the 100mm idler pulley, I went with the belt that Dedicated Motorsports recommended, and so everything was fine. But then after a while, I started to hear somewhat of a belt squeak, like at cold starts, and it would go away after, I guess, 5 minutes of the car idling. However, though, if I would give it just a little bit of RPM, that belt squeak would come back. Yeah, so from the Dedicated Motorsports website, they have like a spreadsheet. So based on your pulley setup, they give you a recommendation on the belt sizes. So for the stock lower with the 235 100mm idler, this is the belt that they had recommended. But like I said, it was squeaking, so I don't know if I have a misalignment of the pulleys. I don't think so, or maybe I have a pulley going bad. That could very well be the case. But I noticed that whenever I put on this other belt, this was the original belt that was running with the stock idler and the 255. So what I was thinking is that this belt was probably way too tight, so I went with something in the middle and I found this one. So this is what I'm currently testing, and I plan on leaving it if that squeak doesn't come back. So let's go look at the tensioner real quick. Yeah, so as you can see with that new belt, look at the mark and then look at where the tensioner sits at right now. So with the other smaller one, I think it was just maxing out all the way. So I'm gonna test this one and see how this one does, but hopefully that fixes my issue. All right, and then the next thing is I wanna go ahead and throw back on the welds. Honestly, really like how how the car looks like with the welds. Mickey Thompson actually made an announcement a while back that they plan on releasing a 27-inch drag radial. About time. So a 27-inch is what I've been wanting to go with. These are a 26. I didn't want to go with a 28. It's just a little bit too tall in my opinion, but the 27-inch is going to be perfect. So hopefully it gives it a look somewhat similar to this. So this tire actually, I know, even though this is a 19-inch, but when I type in the specs into the tire calculator, it does state that this is a 27-inch tall tire. So that should definitely fill up the gap that I currently have with the 26-inch radios, and should actually give me a little bit more sidewall. So now, before I throw these wheels back on, this thing needs a wash. It's pretty filthy. It's kind of hard to tell with the white car. That's one of the nice things about owning a white car, is that whenever it gets dirty, it's kind of hard to tell. Let's go ahead and give this thing a wash and let me pull it out. Belt, this thing would definitely be squeaking even at a close start. So far, new belt seems to have fixed the problem. Ceramic coated. This is what I use after the reload by CarPro. The car's cleaned up, all dried up. I went ahead and also checked the oil on this thing just to make sure everything's okay. Oil was good. Checked the catch can. I didn't catch that on video, but the catch can was, I would say, about a 1/8 of a way full. The last time I had checked it was about like 2 months ago, so not too bad, still working. I don't have anything fancy, just a elite catch can that I bought years ago. Highly recommend one. And next up, we just got to slap on the wheels. Another thing I had done to these wheels, I actually got I ended up ceramic coating them myself. I just bought a kit off of Amazon, and I coated these wheels, and honestly, it's probably been one of the best things I've done. I've never coated wheels in the past, but it was really easy to do, and cleaning these wheels is just a breeze now. One thing I did notice, that whenever I took off the wheels for the first time, a lot of the brake dust had just collected at the bottom on the inside barrel, and literally when I tilt the wheel over, the brake dust just fell out. So alright, so that wraps it up for today. Got the wheels put on, and tomorrow probably gonna take the car out to a meet. One other thing I do plan on doing next is time to take out the fuel pump and send it in for service. So All I gotta do is actually just take off the rear seats, and then I have an access panel right underneath there. Literally just take off that panel and then get straight to the fuel pump. So the fuel pump's gonna be going out to 4. Maybe I'll upgrade to the 4 triple pump, but we'll see about that. I don't know. I kind of have plans about maybe doing like a 416 or something like that, but with a Harrop 2650 LSA style blower. And so I might need the additional fuel, but right now I have more than enough. So anyways, the fuel pump's gonna go out. Injectors, I'm gonna take the injectors out, send those to injector dynamics to get to get cleaned up. And then the only thing I gotta do also is clean the fuel filter. So the fuel filter should be somewhere down here. Yeah, so the fuel filter is right there. This one right here. It's supposed to be a stainless filter if I'm not mistaken, so it should be easy to clean. Anyway, so that's the plan next, is just to pretty much get the fuel system cleaned up and put back in. I do need to work on the truck. So the Avalanche right there, that is my daily. I have a leaking axle seal on the right side, so that's something I need to replace. Looking at it, it looks like I gotta drain the diff, take out the axle just to replace that seal, so it doesn't look to be like fun. But anyway, so that's something I need to do. And honestly, I just need to start fixing up that truck. I've been neglecting it. I might start posting videos on that. And then the Passport, the only thing I was gonna do, that's the wife's car, was going to upgrade the lighting, install all LEDs on the interior, LEDs on the reverse, and then the low beams are LED already, but I think the high beams are regular halogen bulbs, so plan on installing that. So anyway, so there's a couple things that I'm gonna be working on. All right, so that wraps it up for this.